817 hash. Star 811 star 817 hash.
If you are a holder of any unclaimed financial assets, surrender all unclaimed financial assets in your possession to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority UFAA today without having to pay interest or penalties. Take advantage of the Finance Act 2022 moratorium on penalties and interests. For more information, visit www.ufaa.go.ke/holders. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
The legends and familiar chants will grace KBC once again. Don't
Good evening and welcome to Sunday Express. The vetting of the cabinet nominees by President Dr. William Ruto begins tomorrow in what you would call the final formation of his administration. First up, Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary nominee, followed by J.B. Muturi, the Attorney General nominee, former Speaker of the National Assembly, Eden Duale, the Garissa Township Member of Parliament, to follow Muturi, of course, being the CS Defense nominee, as well as Alfred Mutua of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, also following Aden Duale. And finally, to cap it for tomorrow, will be Ali Sohome, Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary nominee.
Now, regionally, actually just across the borders, it's a 3-week lockdown in Uganda's 2 districts to just try and, curb or rather contain the deadly Ebola virus. That is coming up in not too long. And also, they're going to be putting matters of the Gulf in perspective, Kioria, and how to ensure safety of domestic workers there.
Indeed, that conversation is coming up on Sunday Express. But first things first, here are tonight's highlights.
Tayari tumeanza safari ya create a common user facility ya kusaidia jamii yetu ifanyiwe value addition ndio tuweze kupata dhamana zaidi, ile value ile juu.
President William Ruto reveals plans to start exports of processed tea and coffee. The suitability test, a vetting of the 22 cabinet nominees, begins tomorrow. And lost and found. Family in Machakos celebrates return of kin who went missing 7 years ago. Of course, in recent months, you've seen cases reported from the Gulf about the number of people really who were suffering the kind of inhumane acts happening there. And Regina Manyara will be having that conversation later on in the broadcast. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Lensa Odingo.
And I am Regina Manyara. This is Sunday Express.
All right, the government is mulling over banning the exportation of tea in the raw form and instead institute measures to have tea and coffee processed before export.
Now, this is according to President William Ruto and will earn local farmers maximum returns and create employment opportunities.
The head of state spoke during an interdenominational Thanksgiving service held in Kericho County today. Wycliffe Okech begins our coverage tonight with the details.
Sunday at the Kericho Green Stadium, congregants from different denominations gathered here for a Thanksgiving service following the peaceful August 9 general elections. Reverend Joyce Tanui of the Africa Gospel Church encouraged Kenyans to fasten their belts and do what is within their means amid the challenging economic times.
Rise up! Stop sleeping! The Bible says, a little sleep, a little folding of the arms, and poverty will come upon you like a bandit. Ukiendelea kukunjana, kuamka asubuhi na kusema sasa tukae tu, Mungu atatuonekania.
President William Ruto, his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, along with other leaders, said the Kenya Kwanza government has an elaborate plan to turn around the country's dire economic situation, but pleaded with Kenyans for patience.
Mimi nataka niwaambie, hii Kenya itabadilika. We are going to change this country for the better. Na watu wa Kericho, vijana wa Kericho, nimesikia mnauliza ile hustler fund iko namna gani? Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi. Muko tayari? Hustler Fund ninaipangia vizuri. Tarehe 1 Disemba. Tayari Hustler Fund tutaifanyia launch tarehe 1 Disemba.
President Ruto said the government is putting in place measures to have tea and coffee processed in the country before exportation in a move to earn local farmers maximum returns and create job opportunities in respective regions.
Hapa Kericho tunazalisha majani chai pamoja na kahawa kwa wingi. Si ni kweli? Na tumesema ya kwamba hatutakuwa tunauza chai ya Kenya ikiwa unprocessed vile inaendelea saa hizi kwa auction. Chai ya Kenya tutaifanyia value addition na processing ili tupange ajira ya kutosha ya hawa vijana na vile vile tupate pesa nyingi kwa sababu ya ile value addition. Chai tunauza hapa $2, alafu tunauziwa baadaye $9 ama $10.
The head of state also called upon the opposition to go slow on the Kenya Kwanza administration, which is barely a month into office.
Wale ambao tulishindana na wao, mimi nataka niwaambie watulize boli. Mambo bado. Uchumi ilikuwa imesambaratika. Tuko na madeni kutoka hapa mpaka sijui wapi. Kilimo ilikuwa imeharibika mpaka bei ya unga ikafika shilingi 200 kwenda mbele.
And we want to tell our detractors, we cannot clean the mess, the economic mismanagement of 5 years in 30 days.
As tough economic times continue to bite, Kenyans have been urged to remain steadfast in whatever economic activity they are engaged in the hope for a better tomorrow. Reporting for Sunday Express from Kericho County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Let's focus on what is lying in the calendar of Parliament tomorrow.
Now, the National Assembly Committee on Appointments is set to begin vetting the 22 nominees to the cabinet tomorrow, running up to Saturday this week.
The committee, chaired by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, will first vet the Amani National Congress party leader, Musalia Mudavadi, who has been nominated as the Prime Cabinet Secretary, followed by Justin Muturi and Aden Duale, nominees to the positions of Attorney General and Defense Cabinet Secretary, respectively.
The three are among 5 nominees who will face the committee tomorrow.
Vetting of 22 cabinet nominees begin tomorrow amid divergent opinions on a few names set to serve in the cabinet if approved by Parliament. In the exercise set to run from tomorrow to Saturday, the 15-member Committee on Appointments of the National Assembly is required to look at the procedures the head of state used to arrive at the nominees. the constitutional requirements relating to the office, if any, and the suitability of the nominees for the appointment proposed.
We can't afford then to have cabinet secretaries who will come and sleep on the job. Kenyans have high expectation. Kenyans are expecting performance. They are expecting delivery. And so as Bunge, we will be very keen to oversight our cabinet secretaries to ensure that they perform and that they deliver for this government.
Uhuru was not comfortable to hand off power to Ruto. Therefore, he delayed most of the processes that Kibaki fast-tracked. After next week, I will be able to have we'll be able to have the cabinet secretaries after the vetting.
A section of MPs have already expressed reservation on the suitability of some nominees, vowing to mount pressure on the House to reject them once the committee tables its report.
That even as we look at the suitability or otherwise of individual persons who have been nominated by the president, you need to look at the whole package first in context. In context. Does it meet the tenets of the Constitution?
If the committee does not reach a consensus, those dissenting are allowed to indicate their position in the same report. ANC's Musalia Mudavadi, nominated to serve as Prime Cabinet Secretary, will be the very first nominee to face the committee, followed by former Speaker of the National Assembly Justin Muturi, nominee for the position of Attorney General. Vetting of Garissa Township Member of Parliament Aden Duale, nominee for Defence, will be the last in the morning session, paving way for the vetting of Water and Foreign Affairs nominees in the afternoon. On Tuesday, the exercise kicks off with Interior CS nominee Professor Kithure Kindiki, followed by Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, the nominee for National Treasury and Planning. During tomorrow's session, the Chair Moses Wetangula will also inform members of any memoranda submitted by members of the public on the suitability of the nominees. The deadline for such objections lapsed on Friday, 14th of October.
Ours is to look at everything that has been brought on the table. And if those petitions filed by the public have got any weight, then they also tilt the way the decision will be made by the committee.
Upon conclusion of the vetting process, the committee will table its report on the suitability of each nominee, either approving or rejecting the nomination. The acting clerk of the National Assembly will then notify the President of the decision of the House within 7 days of the decision. Should any of the nominees be rejected by Parliament, the head of state will have to submit to Parliament another candidate for vetting. For Sunday Express, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Come tomorrow at 9 a.m., KBC Channel 1 is going to be broadcasting that vetting exercise, so save the date. Now, across borders, Uganda has declared a 3 weeks lockdown of 2 districts as it seeks to contain the deadly Ebola virus. Entertainment joints and places of worship will remain closed in Mubende and Kasanda districts, with latest record indicating that there are 19 fatalities so far. This even as Kenya continues to heighten screening along the common border.
With the first traces of the Ebola virus having been detected in Mubende, Ugandan authorities have taken the unprecedented move to lock the district and its neighbor Kasanda. The move is a U-turn for Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, who had previously said there was no need for such measures, adding that Ebola was not an airborne virus and there was no need to implement the measures as COVID-19. Apart from imposing a 3 weeks lockdown on the 2 districts restricting movement in and out of the affected areas, the Ugandan government has also imposed a dusk to dawn curfew that begins at 7 p.m. and ends at 6 a.m. the following day. Entertainment joints and places of worship will remain closed, while residents will not be allowed to use any means of public transport within or out of the affected districts. Cargo vehicles, authorized government vehicles, ambulances and security vehicles are the only ones allowed to move within and out of the affected areas as long as they don't carry any passengers. The outbreak has killed 19 people among 58 recorded cases. The first recorded death was of a 24-year-old man in Mubende. 6 members of his family also died. Kenya, on the other hand, remains alert, with screening being heightened along the common border with her East African neighbor. And of course, as Kenya continues to remain on high alert in terms of screening at the border, there's an unfolding security situation as a section of leaders from Baringo County are calling on the government to relocate persons who were displaced by banditry in Baringo South and Baringo North. Speaking in Mochongoi, Baringo South, the leaders appealed to the government through the special programs to help the victims start over their lives after bandits forcefully evicted them from their homes.
Led by nominated Member of Parliament Bishop Jackson Kosgei, the leaders have revealed that hundreds of families have been rendered homeless following the eviction caused by the banditry attacks.
Maana tukianzisha hiyo hutakuwa wa mwisho wa kuzuluhisha. Tumalishe maana tutamalisha. Sisi wazee tuko, viongozi wako, chama kipo, serikali kipo, na zote tuko ndani ya nyumba. Tumalishe hiyo maneno. Kwa hivyo tunaomba isiwe jambo.
They are also calling on the government to look for a long-term solution on the persistent cattle rustling in the region.
Viongozi wa Baringo tusipelekane kotini, tuwe na mazungumzo.
Baringo South Member of Parliament Charles Cameron, on the other hand, lauded the ongoing operation to flush out bandits in Tiati constituency, saying it should continue to restore normalcy in the area.
Na tunaona kazi ambayo mumeanza. Sisi kama viongozi wa Baringo, hasa mimi nikiwa kiongozi ya Baringo Kusini, mimi natoa shukurani, kazi hiyo iendelee, na naomba watu wangu warudi nyumbani na serikali mkuja mtusaidie kwa vyakula na yale mambo mengine inahitajika kwa mtu ambaye anaanza maisha mpya.
Areas of Kasiele, Sinoni, Lemaye, Kagir, Yatia, Kosile in Baringo South and Baringo North were affected by insecurity early this year, with residents in those areas still living in fear. The death of 8 General Service Unit officers in Nepaton, Turkana County, saw government order a security operation to recover guns which were stolen by bandits and restore security in the region, which has been faced with insecurity for years. Timothy Kipnoso for Sunday Express.
Now, a man who went missing more than 7 years ago has been reunited with his family. Mwamali Muthiani was found at the Kioria Mercy Servants home in Masinga, Machakos County, where he has been recuperating for 4 years. Muthiani was taken in at the home after he was released from Kenyatta National Hospital, where he had been admitted with head injuries that affected his memory. The Catholic nun Mary Musembi, who runs the home, contacted the chief to trace his family members.
It was a jubilant moment at Kioria Mercy Servants home as family members of Mwamali Muthiani, after almost a decade, came face to face with their lost son. His mother, Monica Muthiani, filled with joy, said that she had lost hope of finding his second-born son, but through God's grace, they are finally reunited. She thanked Sister Mary Musembi for taking good care of him while at her home.
Kwa kukaa na mtoto wangu ukimtunza kwa usalama kama mtoto wako, nimetunga shukrani sana.
His sister Antwili couldn't hold back her tears after seeing her brother, whom she didn't think they would ever see alive.
Nilikuwa nakumbuka, nikikumbuka papangu namkumbuka. Esikia vizuri, nimeona babangu amepupuka.
Kadi Kerwang, Director of Social Services at the Kenyatta National Hospital, speaking during the reunion, urged family members who are unable to trace their kin to liaise with the hospital, as there are other many people whose family members can't be traced, with 12 being housed at Kioria home. He urged well-wishers to support homes like Kioria Mercy Servants home, who have taken up the noble cause of taking care of the needy in the society.
We have several patients, which almost 12 of them we have placed them in this home. We do encourage us also to be getting in touch with us. Our appeal as hospital also to assist such homes, those well-wishers who can assist with donation for the upkeep.
And now modern medical equipment that will revolutionize the health sector in the country has been commissioned at Longisa County Referral Hospital in Bomet County. The robotic machine will enable medical practitioners both in Kenya and overseas to consult, treat and recommend medications to patients virtually. Opicho Chemtai with the details.
Over the years, patients had to travel to facilities in far-flung areas seeking medical consultancy and diagnostics. This, however, will not be the case for residents of Bomet County following the installation of a modern medical device, Tel Adok, at Longisa County Referral Hospital. The robotic machine will not only link patients with eye consultants, but also those suffering from various ailments across the county's hospitals with expertise from overseas.
And I'm just thrilled to meet everybody and to be part of this partnership with you.
Dr. Weldon Kirui says through the use of cameras, a consultant can observe a patient in the wards and recommend treatment.
You wheel this machine to where the patient is, you talk with the consultant who is online. We enroll them, whether MTRH within the country, whether Kenyatta, or outside the country. So they enroll themselves, and then we put them in schedule, in program, whereby they'll be able to say, if this is a renal patient, they are able to see and advise without us referring the patient.
He further says that the technology, when deployed in the health facilities across the county, will enhance provision of medical services.
And it uses actually a rechargeable power set, battery. It is able to go anywhere within the hospital. So it is a case of we are referring the consultant rather than the patient. That is actually where we are headed with this machine.
Speaking during its commissioning, Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok says the machine, which was donated by a German company, will revolutionize medical consultancy and enhance treatment while reducing the cost of hiring consultants.
All the facilities that we have in Kenya can share one consultant or specialist who is seated in Nairobi, in MTRH, in Kenyatta National Hospital or Nairobi Hospital or wherever part of this country.
Barchok added that the equipment will enhance knowledge among healthcare workers by linking them with specialists from any part of the world.
Personally, I'm very happy, and I want to say that I believe that our doctors in Longisa will be empowered. They will be able to build relationship with doctors in your country.
The facility also received high-end ophthalmic microscopes for eye surgery from Christian Blind Mission Organization.
With your kind support, they can also get funding towards an operating table.
David Atambo, representative of Blind Mission Organization.
And all these equipment are equipment that are being donated towards the cause of improving access to eye health services.
Opicho Chemtai for Sunday Express.
Of course, time for us to pick a first break on Sunday Express. But one of the things that must happen tomorrow, obviously, as Parliament begins the process of vetting the cabinet nominees, is for the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Setangula, to make a determination on the appearance of Musalia Mudavadi as the Prime Cabinet Secretary. In what capacity, under what portfolio? That's one of the rulings Wetangula must make tomorrow.
Indeed, and we'll be waiting to see, because as you said, with what docket, to what docket, and what will they be pinning questions to him on?
Absolutely.
That quick breather, we'll be right back.
Trezeguet is in the centre here, and it's a chance for France, and he's hit the post. Oh, nearly the first goal of the 2002 World Cup. And it's Djorkaeff who gets caught in possession here. And it was Daf who put El Hadj Diouf away, and they've got two striding up in the centre here. Bouba Diop is there! Oh, and Bouba Diop is there! And Senegal had scored the first goal of the 2002 World Cup! After half an hour's play, Papa Bouba Diop. Oh. Just look at this celebration. And for the 2002 World Cup starts with a stunning result. Senegal have beaten the world champions in the opening.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
The world's biggest sporting event is here with us. The FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar. KBC Television will air live 28 selected matches, while radio will beam live all the 64 matches. We would like to bring to the attention of the public that KBC is the only station that has exclusive 2022 FIFA World Cup free-to-air FTA broadcast rights for both TV and radio in the Kenya territory, and no other media outlet. Therefore, catch all the FIFA World Cup action live and exclusive on KBC TV and radio. KBC is indeed your true sports partner.
Welcome back. You're watching Sunday Express. Sorry, go ahead.
A family in Mount Kulal, Marsabit County is seeking assistance from well-wishers to raise 1.5 million shillings so that their daughter can undergo a surgery in India.
Attempts to manage her condition locally have borne no fruit.
Now, the 3-year-old Sylvian Mayan Lekoitongo has suffered complex congenital heart disease since 2021.
According to the family, who hails from Mount Kulal, Marsabit County, 3-year-old Sylvia Mayan Lekoitongo has suffered the heart disorder since 2021. Her father, Rupunye Lekoitongo, says with attempts to manage the condition locally having failed, they have had to seek medical attention in India on advice by local doctors. Lekoitongo says due to the complexity of the disease, her daughter needs to undergo an urgent surgery, but what stands between them and that life-saving procedure are finances. The Lekoitongo family needs to raise 1.5 million shillings and are calling on Kenyans of goodwill to come to their aid.
Because shida ya roho. Pesa inatakana ni 1.5. Pesa inatakana na 145. Doctors from Kenyatta Hospital wakaeleza familia wapeleke mtoto huko India afanyiwe upasuaji wa roho. Familia wamezunguka, wameenda mpaka Marsabit County kutafuta msaada, hawakufaulu. Mpaka pia wakaenda mpaka Samburu County kutafuta msaada, hawajaweza kupata msaada wote.
A congenital heart defect is a problem with the structure of the heart that a child is born with. Some congenital heart defects in children are simple and don't need treatment.
Mtoto huyu ameletwa Kenyatta Hospital on July 19, akapimwa, akaondolewa kwa shida ya roho. Kwa hivyo leo hii tumekuja appealing for medical help kwa hiyo mtoto, angalau asaidike huko India, afanyiwe upasuaji ndio at least afya ya mtoto irudi.
Others are more complex and may require several surgeries performed over a period of several years. To help baby Mayan, you can channel your contribution through paybill number 8047221. The paybill number once again is 8047221. M-Pesa number 0705552972. The M-Pesa number once again 0705552972. And Cooperative Bank Eastleigh Branch account number 011161134890. The account number Cooperative Bank Eastleigh Branch once again is 011161134890.
For further details, if you want to assist that family, you can check out our website. That is www.kbc.co.ke.
Now, the Laudato Si movement, in partnership with the environmental organizations, held an annual Interfaith Youth Forum on Environment and Peace at the Catholic University of East Africa. The movement pioneered a climate change movie called The Latter, featuring Pope Francis appealing to the youth through faith to adopt mitigation measures against the climate crisis.
With the large population of Kenyans being Christians, environmental organizations are now focusing on using the church and faith to spread climate conservation and change gospel. The Laudato Si movement, in partnership with Justice, Peace and Integrity of Creation Franciscans Africa, 350 Kenya, Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance and the Harmony Institute, launched a movie called The Latter at the Forum, which articulates the power humanity has to stop the climate crisis. This movie, shot for a period of 6 years by the Laudato Si movement, features Pope Francis, Indian youth activist, indigenous leader from Amazon, Senegalese climate refugee, and the Hawaiian scientist.
Thank you very much.
The film premiered at the Vatican on the 4th of October 2022. Speaking at the annual Interfaith Youth Forum on Environment and Peace, Lang'ata Member of Parliament Felix Odwor committed to plant 100,000 trees in the next 1 year and execute monthly cleanup exercises every first weekend of every new month in his constituency to help in mitigating the climate crisis. He said that the Jalango Green Team had established 47 offices in every county to undertake tree planting exercises.
And I committed personally that through my office, we are going to do and plant 100,000 trees in the next 1 year. And in Lang'ata particularly, there will be a cleanup every single first weekend of every single month.
He said that the faith community is an important player in driving the conversation agenda.
We are also called upon to look at how we relate with our surrounding. And this we can do through policies, advocacy, and so forth.
Indeed, the faith community is an important player in driving this conversational shift, and we are ready to lead this from the front.
The collaboration is key in sensitizing communities on steps to take to reverse the effects of climate change. Environmentalists are now looking into using faith as a tool to pass various messages to the masses on the effects of climate change and different mitigation measures. For KBC Channel 1, I am Teresa Mutai.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124.
At KBC Channel 1, we put people at the heart of events with our captivating weekly news features. Every day, we are breaking new grounds with informative, entertaining, and inspiring human interest stories. On Mondays, 9 p.m., we have The Cabinets. Tuesday, 9 p.m., we get inside the barracks for military tales. We delve in the world of cinemas and theater each Wednesday night. For the young and industrious, make a date with us every Thursday at 9 p.m. Fridays are dedicated for my culture. On Saturdays, we go back in time for history in perspective. And on Sundays, we get to know the process of how things are done and made. KBC Channel 1 News features a whole lot of wonderful viewing experience.
Before we head over to that interview by Regina, focusing obviously on the incidents in the Gulf, let's do some sports now. And Western Jaguars' weekend outing in Nairobi ended on a high note after collecting 6 points from the United States University of Kenya and Strathmore men's teams. The Jaguars thrashed Strathmore University 5-2 in a Premier League match played at the City Park Stadium. Meanwhile, was the Lando Masters shared spoils with the Kenyatta University men's team after a 1-1 draw in the Super League tier.
Western Jaguars were targeting to finish the Premier League season among the top two, beat the varsity side Strathmore after braces from Edison Dombi and Conrad Wafula and Bethwell Musambu's goal propelled them to victory. Jaguars are now placed third on the table with Butali and Kenya Police teams coming first and second respectively. In the men's Super League tier, Wazalendo Masters drew 1-1 with Kenyatta Universities as both teams experienced weak goal conversion tactics.
A good game. I think we had our chances. We had the better side. Unfortunately, we were unable to convert our chances. Go back to training on Tuesday and Thursday. We have another match over the weekend and hopefully we'll pick the points.
Something that has been thorn in our flesh is the defense. And I think today the defense was solid, bearing in mind that we didn't have some guys in the defense. We missed Kimanzi, we missed Ondiro, we missed Omosh, but Eli stood in there and gave a good show. So I think we are solid at the back. So we just work on our finishing and we're good to go.
But so far we are at number 4. But bado tutapush. Hatuko mbali from top 2.
Kenyatta University ladies continued with their winning streak after handling Nairobi Chapel ladies 5-0. The team is targeting a promotion to the Premier League, which they had been relegated from in the previous season. In the men's National League tier, Kitale Hockey Club beat Nandi Hawks 1-0 in an away match played at Kapsabet. University of Nairobi men's team also secured 3 points after a 1-0 win against the Daystar University team at Strathmore University Field. Reporting for Sunday Express, I am Nora Mwangi.
Rangers Hadbu team won the second game of the season after beating Kenyatta University 35-26 in the Women's League match played today at the Nyayo National Stadium.
Rangers women handball team won their second match of the season after beating Kenyatta University 35-26 at Nyayo National Stadium. The win came after they lost their previous match 38-30 against Ulinzi Sharks. Martha Munyeho was the top scorer for the winners after she scored 10 goals. Lea Nyongesa and Lydia Nafula scored 5 goals each and propelled Rangers to victory. Celine Waluke contributed 9 goals for the losers, with Doris Odende and Anastasia Kemoto scoring 7 and 4 goals respectively. Rangers are in position 9 with 4 points, while Kenyatta University are in position 6 with 6 points. Nairobi Water tops the league with 18 points. Elsewhere, Kenyatta University women basketball team defeated Eagles Wings women basketball team 36-35 in a league match played today at the Nyayo National Stadium. In the men's league, KC beat FEBA 81-76, while USIU defeated KCA University 67-50. For Sunday Express, I'm Sela Onyango.
Anne Wanjiru from Kisumu emerged victorious in the second leg of the National Boxing Tournament, which came to a close last night in Meru. Wanjiru defeated Lance Akinyi from Nairobi on points, but Nego Chalo of KDF won the men's 48 kg category after beating William Malawi of Nairobi 3-0. The third leg of the event will be held in Nanyuki, Laikipia County.
The second leg of the National Boxing Tournament ended last night in Meru, with Anne Wanjiru from Kisumu beating Lensa Akinyi from Nairobi 3-0. Abednego Chalo of KDF won the men's minimum 48 kilograms category after beating William Malawi of Nairobi 0-3.
Wakiendelea na vile nimesema hapo awali, wawe na wanahudhuria michezo yote, utapata kwamba pia wao watakuwa na umaarufu kama wale wengine na challenge itakuwa.
Emily Juma from Nairobi won the ladies 51 kilogram category after beating Veronica Mbithe of KDF 1-2.
Kucheza na polisi ama jeshi ama Kenya Prison ni ile tu, kama Mungu atawashukia ama roho itawashukia, wakikupenda kama wanaweza kukusupport, maybe wanakuhitaji kama ni masomo wakusomeshe kwa uwezo wao.
David Karanja of Police beat Morris Irongo from G44 by 3-0 in the men's flyweight bout. In bantamweight 54 kilograms, Nairobi's Mike Ondonga won after beating Morris Ocheng of Police 0-3, while in featherweight Samuel Njao of KDF won after beating Robert Gishui of Nairobi 0-3.
Mimi na ripoti zoezi daily kuwe na coach ama kama hakuna lazima ni train. Na training si equipment mentality yako sababu kuna wase wana train gym poa na hawa perform.
In the ladies 55 kilograms category, Nairobi's Beatrice Akoth won after beating Alice Oyego by 3-0 points, while in lightweight Ethan Minor won after beating John Wanzea by 3-0 points.
Kama boxing iko kwa national level, mtoto mzuri mbona usiangalie na huyu mtoto kuna mali anaenda, wacha nimsupport. Si anaweza enda mbali.
The third leg will be held in Nanyuki, Laikipia County. For Sunday Express, I am Nora Mungi.
And of course, before giving you some football action, our very much congratulations to our very own Karen Kibet, who last night became the best TV personality of the year in the Zikomo Awards held in Lusaka, Zambia. And of course, that's why she's not on the show tonight. All the best to Karen Kibet, who is now the best TV personality of the year in the Zikomo Awards. And of course, from the KBC fraternity, congratulations to you, Karen Kibet. England national soccer team, the Three Lions, will be playing in the World Cup finals for the 16th time since their debut appearance in the 1950 edition held in Brazil. This year's World Cup finals will be held in Qatar from the 20th of next month and will be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
You know what it is. They have lifted the World Cup trophy only once in their history, with the feat in 1966 after beating West Germany at Wembley Stadium in London. In the last finals in 2018, they reached the semi-finals but were knocked out by Croatia in extra time despite taking an early lead.
Pivaric. Walker got there. So though did Perisic. Mandzukic! Croatia hit the front! Mario Mandzukic pounced! And England are hurt!
The team is coached by former England under-21 coach Gareth Southgate, who took over in 2016. Southgate will be looking upon some of the stars such as Kane, Arsenal's Bukayo Saka, Manchester City's Phil Foden, Everton's goalkeeper Jordan Pickford, and Chelsea midfielder Mason Mount to take his team to second World Cup triumph. England team has produced some of the best players in the world, including David Beckham, Ashley Cole, Wayne Rooney, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand and Michael Owen. In Qatar, they are placed in Group B alongside USA, Iran and Wales. This year's World Cup finals will be held in Qatar from the 20th of next month and will be televised live on KBC Channel 1. You know what it is.
I'll tell you about Arsenal and Chelsea in a bit. Now, there was a match ongoing, Liverpool and Manchester City. And looks like Manchester City has suffered in the hands of Liverpool 1-0. There are those who say that there's not so much of a blame for Manchester City and the performance today. But let's just look at the other matches that were played earlier. Arsenal stretched their lead at the top of the English Premier League after defeating Leeds United 1-0 at Elland Road Stadium. The lone goal was scored by Bukayo Saka in the 35th minute. The match was delayed and then temporarily suspended for 15 minutes due to...
is welcome in football. At kick-off, both teams will be concerned by those beneath them in the league. It's with him, Saka.
Because the Manchester City loss to Liverpool means that Arsenal continue to be on top of the table and for some time. It's time for us now to cross over to the other end of studio where Regina is speaking to her guests, and of course 3 of them. There's Wanja Kimani, there's also Frederick Othiambo and Dr. Christine Ombaka, who is the woman representative for Siaya, a familiar face. She's been here before, but then again joins 2 other panelists to discuss what is happening at the Gulf, particularly involving our domestic workers. Regina?
Yes, very well said, and that just sets the ball rolling here. So let's start off with how the status as it is, given that Frederick Othiambo who is a rapid response officer at Haki Africa. Thank you very much for your time. Just to set the ball rolling for us, how does the status look in as far as numbers are concerned since you're in the value chain?
Thank you so much. As you've mentioned, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Frederico Diambo-Giro. I'm the Rapid Response Officer for Haki Africa, which is a human rights organization. As we speak from my desk, as per yesterday but one, that is on Friday, we have got 211 individuals that have reached out to us, either directly through WhatsApp, Facebook, email, or have sent their relatives to reach us at our organizations both in Mombasa and Nairobi. We also have one of the individuals that reached us through WhatsApp was able to tell us that there were around 200 girls in deportation center in Sakan. So you can add the other team of 200 plus 211 that has reached out. And then we have got another 8 Kenyans who are in Riyadh in another exit 19. So you can do the total, but the most important thing here is not how many. Even one is too much.
Even one is too much. Yeah. Now, Wanja, who is a survivor's advocate, you had your time in the Middle East. Maybe paint a picture for us. We have 400 plus from Haki Africa as those who have reached out needing assistance. How was it for you down at the Middle East?
I first want to agree with him that if this is only 200 that are approaching Haki Africa, there are others who are approaching the organization that I work closely with. There are also others that are approaching me for help because they know I have been there. I have seen the whole strategy of rescuing somebody, especially from Saudi. So if we put all these numbers together, being that I am not the only survivor advocate that is also handling these cases on a one-on-one basis, these are so many cases, and maybe we don't get to hear about them. For example, the one that approached me, I never go public about it. There are other people on the internet that are also going public about the cases they are helping. So I want to agree with him that these are huge numbers. It's not something we can quantify exactly, but yes, I was there. I can tell for a fact that yes, Kenyans are suffering in the deportation centers because I was there as well. And yeah, the situation is dire, and there needs to be rapid action.
Rapid action.
Yeah.
Now, Wanja, you've said you have been there. Maybe give us a summary. Now that you were there, you're here. What happened to you back then? Was it in 2016?
No, it was just last year. It was very recent.
Okay.
Very recent.
Tell us, what happened?
My issue started here in Kenya before I even traveled, because I was given the contract like 2 hours before I took the flight. And I did not agree with the terms of the contract, especially the part that says only the employer has the authority to terminate the contract. And the other part that I did not agree with is that the moment you board the plane, you are no longer in the hands of the Kenyan agent. The moment you agree to board that plane, you are now in the care of your employer. So whatever happens to you, yeah. So when my situation started, when I started discussing with the agent there and then, before I even agreed to board the plane, I was told to pay back the money that I owe them. Then I was wondering, okay, I didn't even care what money it was, because at that point I had nothing. I had spent all the money I had on me. Yeah, so I agreed to go with the others, because I mean, many have gone and they have survived. So I took the leap of faith, literally, and I went there. Yeah, and there were a lot of red flags that I did not question even before I boarded the flight, or I even agreed to go there. But when I got there, everything was unfolding so fast. For example, I had been told that nobody will take away my passport because it was mine. I had it even many years before, because it was not my first time to travel. But now when I got there, the first thing that was taken the moment we landed at the airport was the passport. Mm-hmm. And while we were standing there on the queue, there was just an Asian, let me say an Asian person, because I cannot tell for sure if that he was Filipino or not. So he was standing there, and we were standing on a queue, and he was saying passport, passport, passport. And those we were with were just giving it without questioning who is this and why is he taking our passports, and what if we are not the right group that he's supposed to take passports from? Yeah, but I saw that nobody is questioning, so let me just go with the flow.
So, Wanja, you said you got your contract 2 hours before boarding the flight.
Yes.
When you were applying to actually for this job, did the job meet the description of what you had been applying for?
That was one of the red flags, because while I was looking for this job, at first I was told I was going to be a tutor in Dubai, which was okay, but later on the terms changed, like very few days before the time I was meant to travel, because remember, I am very mentally prepared for this, and like I have conditioned myself that I have to go because my kids need me. I had a child who had a condition of the heart, my son, and I had conditioned myself I really have to go because of that. And so when I was told that Dubai is still under lockdown and I have to consider another option, I was still okay with that, because I was told initially that I would be working in different houses every day, which seemed safer to me than working with just one employer, like continuously. So when I was told that I will be like working in different houses every day, I was told to even carry my documents that I can, while I'm done working, I can go apply elsewhere and so forth. And it seemed reasonable to me. But the moment I got there, like even the cars themselves are not even tinted. They are like painted like very tiny meshes. You can't even look through the window. If you dare look, you'll be disturbed in the eyes. You won't even look outside. So in a place you cannot even look outside with your eyes, how are you gonna even look for a job
elsewhere?
Yeah.
So was that your turning point to want to come back?
No, that was not even it. Because I felt that many have tried. I also have to try, because I'm already there. What can I do? I have to
You
make
were doing it for your children.
Like I had to make it count, you know. I had already come too far.
Now let me rope in Daktari. This is Dr. Christine Ombako-Dwor, who is a woman rep from Siaya County. Do you feel that the government has done enough to secure the safety of domestic workers, especially in the Gulf? We have Wanja here, we have the statistics from Haki Africa, and we've said one person is more than enough.
Thank you very much, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to be here and express my views. Excuse me. I really think the government has not done anything. That is one thing I want to emphasize. The government has not done anything, because the story of the women suffering in the Gulf or in the Arab world, women who have gone there to work, every time they come back, they come in a coffin. People have raised questions. People have complained. The government is quiet. Nobody is responding. Nobody is answering anything. And I feel the government is doing nothing. Because it's only last week that there was a lady in the social media feeding cats.
Dogs.
And I was told that that was happening in Saudi Arabia. The details I cannot tell right now, but if that is the case, then it's a recent one. It is not long ago, it is just the other month, when another lady was brought back after she had pleaded through the social media. Her parents made so much noise, then she was brought back. But she was thin, she had lost so much weight. There are many, many cases. If the government was taking action, by now, everything would have stopped.
Now, Daktari, from where you sit as a parliamentarian, as a woman rep, you sit there. You are in the right place to, if change, the tide when it comes to legislation. Is the time right now to have a law or a policy put in place?
Definitely.
Tailor-made to suit domestic workers, especially in the Gulf?
Yes, because that's where most violence comes from. I know violence is all over the world. But the one that is more prominent is from the Gulf. Why the Gulf? Why the Arab world? Why not America? Why not any other country? I know people die in other countries and they come back in a coffin. I know people are challenged whenever they leave their country to go and work in another country. there are challenges, there are difficulties. There's racial discrimination. There is all sorts of violence in different ways. But not all of them end up killing. The manner in which we see our girls come back home, completely tortured. Either they're in coffins or they're tortured, they're miserable, they're never happy. When one leave the country to go and work in another country, one expects that you're going to get a good job, you're going to have a little bit more money than what you get in Kenya, you are going to support your family back home, but instead, families in Kenya are the ones helping their daughters in Saudi Arabia.
Clearly there's a problem. Now,
there's a problem.
Being a devil's advocate, and I'd want to go with what government has been saying in regard to this matter after the recent 2-3 weeks. One of the issues that was brought out is the caliber, the mannerisms of the girls that are taken there is to count. Another issue that was brought out in that communication was the issue of illiteracy. Wanja and Friedrich, let's start with Wanja. Do you think that particular statement when it comes to government and how they think that is a reason why these girls are treated the way, how does that make you feel?
For example, the issue in the Gulf is not illiteracy or mannerisms. For example, I have studied to degree level and I have taken other courses on the side. So you cannot say that the issue is illiteracy. Second thing is about the mannerisms. Like somebody that wants to harass you, somebody that wants to mistreat you, somebody that wants to kill you will still do it because this is not about you, it's about them. It has nothing to do with your character, nothing to do with what you're doing or not doing. Somebody that wants to harm you will harm you whether you're in control of it or not.
Now, Friedrich, you've handled the issue of bringing these girls back, especially those in distress. But then, let's look at the agents who recruit them to go there. Do we also go after the agents, or are we just focused? Have we ever had agents brought to book? Because, as they say, this is another form of human trafficking and bordering on slavery.
This is modern day slavery. I think time has come that we need to look at the government in the face and tell them the truth. And look at these criminals and illegal entrepreneurs who are becoming fatter and fatter at the expense of our women. I think it is important to note that we are running a campaign of bring back all our girls from the Gulf. And this campaign has been decided by virtue of the circumstances and the statistics that we have with regards to the situation of our women in the Gulf. As a matter of fact, we are living a dream. As much as the government has turned a deaf ear on this, we believe that they are still Kenyans of goodwill. They are still citizens of the world of goodwill that are touched by the situation of our women in the Gulf, and they are willing to add a voice. They are willing to stand up. They are willing to make a call on behalf of these women so that they can be brought home. One thing in point is, we know it is slow, it is difficult, but we believe that when we join hands with all the stakeholders, with the Fourth Estate, with the diplomatic corps, with the philanthropists, with everyone, our girls will be home.
Now, Friedrich, is this only a situation that is unique to the Middle East, especially the Gulf?
Okay.
Or are you having these ladies who are going for domestic work there from other parts of the globe also having same issues? Why the Middle East?
You know, I want us to look at two issues. The issue of the challenges that are facing our women in the Gulf that is now disfranchising their livelihoods is the issue of perception, the way the Arabs perceive Africans. That's where the problem starts. You know, we have gotten history and we know how slave trade occurred. And so it is now true that the descendants of Arabs still view our domestic workers as slaves.
So it's a perception that they have, but we need to correct it. Now let's bring back this conversation to the side. Wanja, you told us that when you had applied to be a tutor, but things changed along the way. Were you able to find another place to actually work as they had promised you, or did you just remain with that employer? And how did you get back home since they had already taken custody of your documents?
At first, I went to work in a house that I was a bit comfortable because there were kids, and I am really good with kids. Yeah, so I had the opportunity, like in spite of doing the housework, and I still had the time to teach these children English and a little bit of basic general knowledge stuff. Then the issue became communication. The man of the house was a very well-traveled person, so he didn't have a problem communicating in English. But now the wife, when the man was maybe asking me if the babies have been fed and all that, the wife could have interpreted it another way.
Miscommunication.
Yes. So she took me back to the office. She said she wants somebody who has experience to work in Saudi, because in Saudi you're not maybe supposed to look at the man in the eye, but here we know that looking at somebody in the eye means you're concentrating, you know. Yeah, it's actually disrespectful if I'm talking to someone and they're looking another direction.
And even
I
if you
lose
do
my
not
train
maintain
of
eye contact, you are termed as dubious.
Yes.
So there's an issue of a perception in terms of our culture and that cultural disparity.
Yes.
Now, in quick summary, Wanja, because you have been there, and even as a media, we have highlighted some of the stories that we can, but we still find ladies especially, and maybe Friedrich would tell us, why isn't the Gulf attractive to men who are seeking greener pastures, so to speak? Why do these girls still persist that they need to be in such a place where they have seen others come back in coffins, maimed and such, in your view?
I think free things are attractive to a desperate person.
Free things are attractive to a desperate person.
Yes. So for example, to go to Saudi, you're not even required to give any money. In fact, it is you that will be paid fare. They will pay your fare, whether you are in Timbuktu or Kisumu or wherever. They will pay your fare to come to Nairobi or to come where the agency is, just to get the process going. Because I hear for every girl they're paid like 200,000. That's why when you are in distress, they ask you for 200,000 so that you can buy your freedom back. So for a lady that has no money, has no resources, has nothing, not even a birth certificate, to them that opportunity to travel abroad for work seems very attractive to them, lucrative and all that.
One word, what would you tell someone who is watching and they're thinking to go to the Gulf? What should they do and what should they not do?
I would urge anyone for that matter, a job opportunity abroad that does not require you to go to the embassy yourself, fear that one.
Fear that one. Madam Christian, as we go, you've said that it's a high time we had legislation that is tailor-made to ensure the safety of domestic workers. What do you have in mind as we come to a close?
I feel that it's not only legislation that will help us. It's good to put legislation in place. That is necessary. But if legislation is not implemented, then we still have a problem. So legislation is good, but implementation is the key. Is the most important part of all this we are talking about. What are we implementing? If people are to get visas, how do we get visas going to America, for example? It's not easy. It takes you months on end, and you pay heavily to get a visa. How come it's so easy to go to the Arab world the way you have described? Something must be suspicious. Why make it so easy? I know even going to America, going to Germany, going to France, going to anywhere else, you still have to pay money to get there because you have to buy your visa. And you must, they always will check, where are you going to in those countries? Where are you going to stay? What are you going to do? For how long will you be there? So all that must be documented, and they're strict. The Arab world is not strict. That's why I'm afraid something is very wrong. How come it's so easy to go there?
So
and
we
when
need
you're
to
going
not
there,
only change
just a
policy.
minute, when you're going there to do domestic work, there's got to be some kind of work permit. Do they also have work permit? Do they ask for work permit? Is there security for the migrant workers? Do they put some security in place? If you are going through distress, there's some kind of a problem you're going through, who do you report to? I think those are information that we need to know. When our girls go to the Middle East, do they know where they can report if they have problems? Is the embassy aware of their being there? Is the embassy in touch with them? Is the embassy coming out to rescue them? Should they make noise? I have a problem with the embassy.
Indeed.
What are they doing? What is their role anyway?
It seems
so. If we are going to make laws, we must make laws that will touch everybody. Yeah.
And make everybody accountable. Well, it seems as if we have just scratched the surface when it comes to ensuring the safety of domestic workers, especially in the Gulf. This is a conversation that we're going to continue with. Thank you very much for watching. If you've caught this, you can get it a replica. We have been stripping live. You can watch it tomorrow. This is a conversation that we're bound to continue having so that we can fully ensure that wherever it is that you are going, you are regarded as an individual of value. I'm Regina Manyara. You have been watching Sunday Express.
If you are a holder of any unclaimed financial assets, surrender all unclaimed financial assets in your possession to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, today without having to pay interest or penalties. Take advantage of the Finance Act 2022 moratorium on penalties and interests. For more information, visit www.ufaa.go.ke/holders. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Kupata skiza tune ya mambo mema, dial star 811 star 815 hash.
Mambo mema huwaendea watu wanaosubiri, ila mambo mema zaidi huwaendea watu wanaoyatafuta. Kupata mambo mema ni kufanikiwa, na kufanikiwa ni kutabasamu, kutafakari na kuhesabu mema na baraka ulizozichukulia hatua, ukazitafuta na kuzipata. Amka, tafuta ufanisi wako.
Kupata skiza tune ya mambo mema, dial star 811 star 815 hash. Star 811 star 815 hash.